Hey guys, this is Tim with Decoding Panels right here on the Codex Station. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you know when we've got this and other great stories coming your way, along with new episodes of the Codex podcast, Breaking the Code, one-shots, mail call, and more. All right, ready? Sit back, relax, and let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of Decoding Panels, guys. My name is Tim, and we are just getting started with Dark Knights of Steel, and we're about to go headlong into issue number 2. Now, if you haven't read this title yet, head over to your local comic shop and please pick up these issues. I believe we're at issue 5 as of this recording. Now, this is a story you're not going to want to miss, and let me go ahead and do a recap of issue 1 for you real quick. It is a time of knights, sorcerers, and prophets. The elves of Krypton have crashed on Earth, but not a present-day Earth. Jor-El and Laura establish themselves here, forming a kingdom and raising a family. Now, all of our favorite characters from the DC universe are here, but they are in very different roles, with some playing very different parts. Now, Constantine, Bruce Wayne, Black Lightning, the Green Arrow, and more fill this world with wonders and danger. So follow me, the Bard of Codex, as we continue the tale of Dark Knights of Steel. The king, Jor-El, is dead, killed by an assassin's arrow. Bruce can only let his rage build as he sits helpless. You know, fate itself can be a very dangerous thing. If you know the future, it very often means becoming a slave to that destiny. A scream erupts from the top of the castle. A red beam of energy follows soon after. Those inside the castle walls hear it all too clearly. They know it means nothing good. That thing with fate and destiny, it means becoming exactly what we fear. A queen screams her husband's name as a prince stands behind. He can only stare in disbelief. "Father," Kal-El says. Mother and son grieve in anguish over their loss. But no matter how much we struggle, we eventually become agents of our own demise. Lightning strikes, and a bat leaps from high atop the castle to the ground below. Alfred is there. An arrow. It came from Hob Forest, Bruce shouts. Alfred has already prepared the horses, and they ride. How could an arrow have come from so far away, he asks. Bruce answers, "The Green Man." Another arrow flies toward Alfred, but, of course, when we see doom coming toward us, we stand and fight. Bruce catches the arrow mere inches from reaching its destination. The arrow is snapped, and Bruce says very angrily, "I see you." The archer can only watch in astonishment. "What the hell?" he says. The bat leaps from his horse, sword in hand, ready to strike. But let us not forget, dear watchers and listeners, that violence only begets more violence. It leads to hurt and to anger. The bat cleaves the arm off of the green archer. He will shoot arrows no more. Both land, one on his back, the other his feet. "Where is he?" Bruce shouts, the killing blow ready. Remember, when we are led to hurt, to anger, that, my friends, is where our fate is truly sealed. "Bruce," Alfred says, holding his hand, "it's all right. I am no murderer. Besides, I can't get any answers from a dead man." He will tell us where the Green Man is. Later, in the Kingdom of Storms, John sits atop one of the castle towers, waiting. "Green Man," he says, smoking his pipe. "Constantine, it is done." "And what of Oliver?" "The ring told me to leave him." "Right then. Well, you can't argue with jewelry, I guess." "I'll let the king know." Below, a father is basking in a moment of pride with his children. "Great job, Anissa. But let's keep our eye on our aim. We don't want to bring down any castle walls here. With each stomp, thunder sounds and the ground erupts. Anissa continues her training. Lightning flashes from the fingertips of another of the king's daughters. Wonderful, Jennifer, just wonderful. The king turns to his son, the prince. Are you ready, father? He says. I am ready, Jacob. Then stand back. The sky opens and rain begins to fall. Constantine, however, is less than thrilled. Thanks for that, he says, his pipe now extinguished. He approaches the king. My lord, if I may have a word, away from small ears. My ears are not small, Jacob says, annoyed. They are, Constantine replies, and they hear far too well. King Jefferson and Constantine step away, their words now their own, for the moment. You look proud, John says, leaning against the stones. I am. Anissa is mastering her thunder, Jennifer is gaining control of lightning, and Jacob, well, he grows stronger by the day. We haven't had a Pierce in generations who could control rain. The tone of the conversation changes. It is done. The Green Man did it. Jarrell is no more? Yep, one down. Constantine, however, has reservations. I'm still not convinced this is a great idea. This was your prophecy, the king states. Funny thing about prophecies. Who knows what they actually mean? But moreover, who knows if this whole situation has been made worse by his death? Constantine continues, but adds a little bit of what some would say is wisdom. You know, the elves don't really seem that bad. The king disagrees. Anyone that has shown they have magical abilities vanishes. Ah, now I didn't say they were perfect. I'm pretty sure the magic user thing is all because of the Batman. He's messed up. The king closes this conversation with a final question. This is my kingdom, my people, my children. Can you tell me their future is secure while the aliens still live? I can only be sure of one thing, Constantine says. You have definitely pissed them off. The throne room in the House of El. A general speaks. The time is now. It is time for war. The jester speaks her mind as well. Wars are dumb, General Waller. The queen looks like she couldn't be further from this very important conversation at this moment. Her husband was just assassinated after all. General Waller continues. You know this was ordered by Pierce. He has assassinated our king. We must strike now. There has to be justice. Alfred, ever wise, adds his own peace of mind. Oh, justice, yes, we can all agree on that. But, as one who has survived war, let us not send others to their deaths for your own personal hurt. The queen finally speaks. Alfred is right. I will not send our own to die because of the actions of a few. But Waller persists. My queen, they will come for you next. You must know this. The kingdom needs you. Will you lead us or wait for death? Harley Quinn is trying desperately to change the course of this conversation. She calls to Bruce. Help us out here. What do you say about all this? It is not for Bruce to say. Now the prince, Kal-El, has spoken. Kal-El stands beside his father's empty throne. His point is made very clear. This is for our family to decide. Bruce is not one of us. The prince leaves, but not before giving one final order to Bruce, as if to drive that point home even further. I want to know for sure that King Pierce was behind this. When the assassin wakes, you will let me know. Kal-El leaves without another word. Alfred, ever wise, comes to Bruce's side. He's in deep grief, and you know his anger is not toward you at the moment. Bruce disagrees. No, it is. I was with Jarrell. I didn't save him. I couldn't. I was supposed to be the one to protect him. It seems that war between the kingdoms is inevitable. Alfred adds one last piece of wisdom. Any war between the House of Storms and the House of El will not stop at either border. We will be dragged into this. Amazon Island. A ship comes to dock. A passenger disembarks and greets Hippolyta, ruler of this island, with reverence and respect. Lois, it is so wonderful to have you back. Lois does not look as happy. Whispers of tragedy and events are told. Her look tells all. Things are serious. I will speak with the generals and prepare them for your council, Hippolyta says. Lois bows. I will be there soon, but first, I must tell the princess. Of course. She is training on the field. Sword clashes with shield as Diana, Prince of Themyscira, spars, keeping her skills sharp. Lois approaches as sword connects with another sword. Your Majesty, she says, I apologize for the intrusion. Nonsense, Diana says in return. Your intrusions are always welcome. Come, grab a sword and join us. No, my lady, I come with grave news. There was an attack on the house of El. Jarrell, the green man. She trails off, unsure of how to present this news to the princess. Diana tells her how. Well, out with it, she says as sparring continues. I'm so sorry, princess. Zala, your father, Jarrell, has been killed. The news is unexpected, unwelcome, unreal. Sword and shield fall. Zala is in shock, but a hand reaches for hers to give comfort. Zala, Diana says. Zala already knows she must leave. Now. I have to go. Some last words of reassurance are offered. If you need anything, you know I am here. I'm so sorry. One last kiss for the two before Zala leaps for the sky, tears the only thing left behind her. Diana picks up Zala's sword. Questions need answered. Was it King Pierce? She says to Lois. It's unconfirmed, but he is the obvious one at this moment. If it is him, that means everything we've worked so hard for because of that stupid prophecy will be for nothing. Diana states it plainly. A war against gods. If only she were wrong. If only. Bruce, stand aside. Listen, I know you're angry right now, but please don't act on it. I said, stand aside, now. Bruce can only do as commanded, his frustration very apparent. Cal swings the doors to the dungeon open, the murderer of his father now before him. It's safe to say he had 2 arms when you found him, he asks. He did, Bruce replies. You tell me not to act on my anger. Leave us. Harley disagrees with all of this. I don't think that's such a good idea. I was not making a suggestion. We see a plethora of captured individuals as Bruce and Harley make their exit. I am employed to advise, you know. You're employed to juggle. A speedster goes from one end of his cell to another. A blue devil sits and watches as the two walk by. Oh, fancy that. I'm employed to do both. Want to watch me juggle as I give some advice? Lose those ears on that helmet. They don't make you look mean or scary at all. They actually make me want to give you pats and treats. An angel stares from the shadows, and a killer shark stares at them hungrily from his cell. Harley continues. Have you ever considered that this prophecy could be right? They lost their world. Now Laura has lost her husband and Cal his father. I believe in the Queen, but how much loss can a family take before they lash out? Bruce does not like this train of thought, and he says so. Those words are treasonous, Harley. Those words are honest, Brucey. That's never treasonous. The elves listen to you. Help me stop them from making a huge mistake. Also, locking up all these people who've done no crimes just as a precaution? That's a bit crappy, you know. She is right, you know. Shut up, monkey. We move back to Kal-El and the Master Bowman. I could kill you with but a glance, you know. Oh, I am well aware of that. Just one of the many reasons why you and your kind need to be removed. My father was good, a just man. Oh, is that what you think? You think your father was even a man? He was no man. You aren't even a man. You're just some monster who's told himself the most convincing lie. You're a destroyer. That's all you are. Now let's get this over with and kill me already. I'm not going to kill you. And why is that? Because I do not lie to myself. My family, we're not what you think we are. We're no killers. Inside the bedchamber of King Pierce, it is always calm before the storm, and the king and his family, his children, sleep soundly. Suddenly, a noise, almost like an explosion, jolts the king from his bed. Rushing out, he comes across his daughter, Anissa, first, who seems just as startled and confused as he. Was that you, he asks. No, father. What was that? The king begins to run. The sight before him is every father's worst dreams made flesh. Father, his son shouts. You see, fate can be a very dangerous thing. Lightning begins to ebb and flow, crackling in the night. Zala, the king says, put him down. Yes, that certainly is the idea, human. And with fate, knowing that future often means you become a slave to its destiny. It means becoming exactly what we fear most. A prince and a princess, high above the city, one fearless, the other seeking revenge. I'm not scared of you at all. I will make it rain inside your lungs in an instant. Defiance in the face of certain death is brave, even noble. No, you will not, she says, letting the boy go. And here, we must know, no matter how much we struggle, we can become agents of our own downfall. A prince falls through the night. A father screams, helpless. Energy fills him. Electricity flows through him. Anger swells. And the final thought, the final lesson we learn here is that when we see doom coming toward us, we stand and fight. But as we all know too well, violence always leads to more violence, to hurt, to anger. She lets the electricity from a father's rage dance between her fingers, a smile playing across her lips, a giggle, just shy of laughter. It tickles. Revenge makes its exit, and a father is left without a son. And this, here, is when our fate is sealed. Wow, guys. This 2 issues in and we're already this far. This is absolutely astounding to me. This is crazy what's going on here. The Flash in prison, Blue Devil, Killer Shark, what Zala just did. Holy smokes. Guys, I've read all the way up to current, and I cannot wait to bring more of this to you on Decoding Panels. You guys are going to love it. But if you did like what you saw and heard here today, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, light up that notification bell, and like this video so you'll know when new episodes from the Codex Station come out. As always, guys, my name is Tim. This is Decoding Panels, and I will see you next time.